Welcome back to The Rosy Romantic. I'm Bree, and today we're going to talk about Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. And as much as everyone is in denial about this being the final mission,
oh, can you imagine? Oh no. You don't know.
Y'all, I'm sad to report there are no more missions to accept.
Impossible. Impossible.
And we can't accept that. I can't accept it, and it's okay. We can all cry together about it. So because this franchise has been incredible. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Also, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. So grab your drinks, grab your snacks, and let's chat.
I don't wish to make a big deal of it, so please limit your reactions to 1 second. Go.
What in the world?
That's plenty.
So they have finally accomplished the last mission. And I don't know how to feel about it, y'all. I think there's a whole mix of emotions because you're finally putting an end to a beloved franchise. And it's very hard to sum it all up and be like, okay, this is it. You're tying a bow on the finale and you're saying that you're never coming back to this franchise.
And I just
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my goodness, oh my god. I knew this was coming, oh my god, oh my goodness.
So let's talk about it. First up, okay, the things that they did accomplish really well. Number one, being the stunts. Obviously the stunts. The stunts were stunning.
She's got a point.
And I was very surprised and I was very impressed with the submarine scene. My goodness. And give a round of applause for the engineers to have this all come together and make you believe that you're in the submarine with Ethan. Every time that the thing kept turning, I felt like I was turning with it. I was like, oh my gosh, like I couldn't believe the amount of intensity, and with the score with it, it just felt like, I'm like, yeah, this is Mission Impossible and that Ethan is gonna get this done. Even though that thing in the back of the submarine was going, and I was like, for being for real, he would have been a goner. Another stunt was the submarine fight that not a lot of people were talking about because this was very close combat. It reminded me of Mission Impossible 2.
You are so jealous.
Who else could do that? Who else could do that? I know, like, you know, there were Jackie Chan, Keanu Reeves, and then Tom Cruise. There's only 3, like, who else is in the game right now? Who could you say else could do that? No, you couldn't. Tom Cruise, Keanu Reeves, Jackie Chan. Thank you. Yeah, give them their flowers. And then we have the amazing plane sequence where he's getting from one plane to the next. It reminded me of that plane scene in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade with Sean Connery and Harrison Ford. And that sense of adventure, it made me feel like I was going back in time and watching like this like action adventure and watching all these movies for the first time. It gave me that sense of feeling. And then you put on top of it the intensity of it all. If I was there watching this being filmed, I'd be like, he's really up there. Like, I'd be like, someone get this man down. Like, he's doing too much. You can't see me out there doing that.
You know that's right.
It does create this sense of like scale. And you can like see like the background and the landscape and everything around, like it just makes it, I mean, come to life because it's what's happening in real time. So again, the stunts were stunning.
This is cool. Is this how you feel all the time?
The second thing that they excelled at was the emotional moments, because in a lot of the Mission Impossible films, there have been moments where there's like a lot of like comedy and light moments, and then they'll just have like a little dash of emotional moments. We did see that in Fallout and in Mission Impossible 3, where they got a little bit serious. And sometimes you need that more serious tone, especially when you're trying to end a series, because you realize that you've been on this journey with these characters and they've had these relationships, and you need to explore like what they mean to one another. Like Ethan's been with Luther since Mission Impossible, and basically Luther has become like his older brother. Ethan, what are you doing? Ethan, you know, are you dating her? Are you treating her right? Ethan, don't do that. Ethan, like, and so when, sadly, especially if you haven't watched the film, this is a spoiler, a big spoiler, when Luther dies, like, you just see this emotional devastation. Ethan looks like dejected in that moment. Like, he's like, I lost my older brother. Like, what am I gonna do now? Like, that's his family.
Look at me. We're in this together. Just like we always are.
So I'm going in the theater and I'm like, am I tearing up right now? Like, were we really about to lose Luther? And it's like, yeah, that finality of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, this has been quite a journey. And to see, again, the connection between Ethan and Luther on screen, it's just, they did really well at expanding on that.
Can you estimate the value of everything that was taken?
Emotionally, $700 million.
And the third thing, which they greatly accomplished, were the standouts. Tremel Tillman and Palm Clementif. Tremel Tillman, tell me why that I didn't watch more of Severance. Well, I will tell you, because with Severance, it causes a lot of anxiety for me, okay? But the performance of this as him as Captain Jack Bledsoe? I'm speechless. I'm speechless because it gave that Denzel Washington-esque intensity, fun, playfulness, dynamicness. Like, I was taken aback. I was like, oh my goodness.
As I live and breathe.
The way he brings that presence on screen and that you want to hold on to every word that he's saying. Acting. It's the same way for Angela Bassett. And so I love how big summer blockbuster movies get to showcase this incredible acting and talent, because if you haven't seen Severance, you're like, yeah, who is this? Who is this? And yeah, he should be in practically everything because just amazing. And then we have Palm Clementif, which I love how they had her with more lines and dynamicness of her character, because I think in Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, she mainly had to focus on the movement of her character to tell a story. And that is extremely difficult. The physicality of your eyes, your body, your facial movements, everything like that, without having to say a word. Acting, once again. I also like how she played the total opposite of William Brandt, played by Jeremy Renner. And his character, which I loved, was a rule follower, and that was really against, like, with Ethan, what he does. He breaks a couple of the rules because, you know, for the greater good. And then for Paris's character, she's like, I can break all the rules I want, like, I really don't care. And that brought, like, that freshness to the team, to the dynamic and the comedy. Again, I want to see her in more projects as well, because the girl is acting, and we love to see it.
And she is the moment. Now, come on now.
Now for the things that they didn't accomplish. First being the pacing. And I've read a lot of comments and heard a lot of things, and I don't know if it's like this for everyone, but for me, I could definitely feel the runtime in the first half of the film. Again, this is hard to end this series of franchise of movies, because you know, you love them so much, you put so much work and love into them. But I think there are more ways we could have paid homage to some of those great films. And they did it within the movie probably without even knowing it. Like the close hand-to-hand combat, like we talked about before with Mission Impossible 2, and the knife thing, like coming like right close. And I can't believe, Tom, that was a real knife in Mission Impossible 2. I don't know how that man does it. I don't know. In this particular first half of the movie, I think there could have been maybe a heist like they usually do. Is it repetitive? Yes, but we all love it. Like, we love a good Mission Impossible heist because it gets the team together and we get to know everybody in the team dynamic. Also, it could have paid off of having something, more comedic or play into romance a little bit.
Wow, that's an intriguing proposition.
I think they could have played into a budding romance with Benji and Paris. Okay, did anybody see a little bit of chemistry there? I did. They could have a little played into that and, you know, just having a fun time. We're like, oh, Mission Impossible, bum, 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 bum. And then kind of the gravity of Luther's loss, like on the team, we would have kind of impacted more, because if you just had a little bit more scenes with him, a little bit more time, and you're like, oh, we're having a good time as a team, and then again you feel that loss, and then you also think about the loss of Ilsa Faust's character. So then it's almost like the team is like down and out. They're like, what do we do? Like, this is over, especially for Ethan's character. Like, he's always like thinking of a new way, searching for something. But after that much loss for Ethan, I think it would have been cool to see the team like bring him up, be like, man, you can do this, you know, we can do this together, you know, you're not alone, kind of thing. Really could have helped the pace of the film. The second thing would be a more sinister dynamic to the villain of Gabriel and to the entity. Because we see these things going on. Like, the entity is like, okay, I got this like on lock. I'm manipulating all these people. Gabriel has now taken out Ilsa. He's taken out Luther. But it doesn't feel like this epic, like very malicious threat like we've seen from Philip Seymour Hoffman, that we've seen from Dougray Scott. Like, in those films, or even Solomon Lane, you felt like this ominous, like, this man's about to take over and he might win, or they might win.
Now let's figure out how to destroy him.
And each time I go back and see those films, like with Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, I am terrified. So I think maybe the way they wrote Gabriel needed to be, a lot more sinister, really kind of focus and hone in on, what is going to break down Ethan's character. But you can do that so much with the details in the script. You go just a little bit deeper, and maybe it kind of explaining why they want to do this, what the entity, maybe it does something slightly devastating, but not too devastating that the whole team has lost all hope. That is what kind of brings a little bit more of the stakes to this film, and you can just feel scared and terrified of this person.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh.
He'll be fine.
And you probably know the third thing that I'm gonna say that they left out of this film that they so desperately needed, and that was,
Wait for it. Wait for it.
my homegirl Ilsa Faust. Look, I gotta say it. She's one of my favorite characters next to Ethan, Benji, Luther. Like, she's that girl. She was that girl. I can't believe she gone. I can't believe she gone. She was sadly missed from this the Final Reckoning here, because the way she would have like been acting on screen. And y'all seeing her in Dune. Yeah, could you imagine her with the scene with Tremel Tillman?
I'm losing it.
But it would have been a fun way to kind of really throw off Gabriel. Maybe she had more connection with Gabriel, more of like a past with him that we could expand it on, and maybe that made him more malicious and like the mystique of him. And then the payoff of the romance between Ethan and Ilsa, like it just worked. For me, Ethan and Ilsa were soulmates, because when Ethan saw Grace in this film, like you know, he had love for her, but he was just like, hey girl, hey, like thank you for saving me, but like I don't think I see a future with us, okay?
I assumed you knew, darling.
Even though there were some faults in this film, I think it was a good way to end the franchise, because it made me want to go back and watch these films all over again.
I will.
The mission's not over for me, okay? I can go back to Mission Impossible 2, which y'all don't be so hard on Mission Impossible 2.
I probably should not interfere.
Probably.
Don't be coming too hard for Mission Impossible 2, because if it wasn't for Mission Impossible 2, you would have no Mission Impossible 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, thank you very much. Let me know in the comments down below, what did you think of Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning? What are the things that you liked about it? And what are some of the things that you didn't like about it? And I hope you have a comfy and cozy rest of your day.